What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Michigan State gets a win over its rival Michigan 73-63 in Ann Arbor, in Breslin South, if you will, the Chrysler Center, in a game that again was close in the first half, a 2-point Michigan State lead at halftime. Then Michigan State outscoring Michigan in the second half by 8 to secure that 10-point win. Throughout the first half, things that stuck out really. In the first 10 minutes, it was really kind of a back and forth game. You know, both teams kind of throwing punches, going on couple scoring run here, small scoring run here, small scoring run here to keep the score close for most of the first half. Then under 10 minutes in the first half, Michigan State was able to go on a little bit of run and I believe get the lead to about 9. And then Michigan, swung back towards the end of the half, and it took a Doug McDaniel foul on Davis Smith to end the half with, I believe, 0.4 seconds left, and Davis cashing the 2 free throws to give Michigan State a 2-point lead at halftime. In the second half, first 10 minutes or so was about the same thing, back and forth battle, and then Michigan State was able to tighten the screws on defense a little bit, the last 10 minutes of the second half, and then was able to finish it out in the second half by getting a little comfortable lead and able to finish it out despite Michigan really not going away. And some of that was Michigan making some plays, but a lot of it was Michigan State just throwing the ball around. Only 10 turnovers, but really it felt like 15 to 18 turnovers for Michigan State. Good thing for them, though, is they forced 22 turnovers by Michigan, one of the keys to the game. Forcing turnovers, 8 by Nakamwa, 5 by McDaniel. That's huge. 3 by Llewellyn, 3 by Jackson. That was huge. Some things that stuck out for Michigan State, Tyson Walker. Going into the game, we said we wanted like a 25, 27-point Tyson Walker game. We didn't get that, but honestly, but Tyson was able to take over in certain parts of the game. He finished with 19, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals. And he was able to take over certain parts of the game where it looked like, maybe Michigan was kind of slipping away into like a 5-point lead or so. And then Tyson hits a 3. And then next possession, splits the defense, gets to the basket, gets a big bucket. And then obviously the defense with 3 steals. He came up big tonight, as he has for the whole season, whole last 2 seasons really. And then another guy, Malik Hall, who cannot sing his praises enough. Everything he's done since the 0-0-0 game, about a month and a half ago. He's been incredible since. Another 18 points and 4 rebounds for him, including 8 for 13. A very efficient stat line there for him on the offensive end, and then doing all the little things on defense that helps the Spartans win. In terms of the other 2 in the Big Four, Jaden Akins finished with 7 points, struggled shooting the ball tonight, 3 for 10 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. But he did get 3 steals there, and some of his 7 points did come at an opportune time. Had a big 3 when Michigan State was going on a run to kind of help swing the momentum even more on their side. Then the other guy closing out the 4 for Michigan State, AJ Hogard, 6 points, 4 assists, 3 steals. Was in foul trouble in the first half again, had 2 in the first half, only played, I believe it was 4 minutes in the first half. I could be wrong, could be a little more, but only 22 minutes total for the game, but was barely on the court at all in the first half, but was still able to come back out in the second half and find a way to make some impact on this game with 4 assists and 3 steals. We'll close out the good portion of this. Cohen Carr, obviously the 2 big dunks were the highlights for him, finishing with 8 points and 2 steals, 2 for 3 from the free throw line as well, 3 for 4 from the field, and then some good defensive plays as well. He anticipated that steal that kind of led to the end of the half situation there for Michigan State that set up the Davis Smith 2 free throws. Next, 2/3 of the big men, Carson Cooper, 4 points, 7 rebounds is the big number there, and then Jackson Kohler, 3 points and 7 rebounds as well. Now Coop, 2 for 3 from the field. He was solid. In most parts of the game, he had a few, moments on offense where I believe he, missed a screen or ran a play wrong there. Jackson, downside for him, I believe like 1 or 2, not even defensive lapses, just got beat once or twice on defense. And then he was 1 for 5 from the field was the thing. He had some, bunnies right at the rim that he, just couldn't get to go down. If he's able to convert those, it's an even better night for him. But both of them played really well. I thought Trey Holloman was steady all night, as he usually is. 6 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, a steal. Solid 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And he also made a couple big buckets. Of his 6 points, I believe 2 of them were when Michigan was kind of on a run and, Michigan State needed a basket, and he was able to get to the basket and make a big shot. Now, some of the negative, because this wasn't a perfect game by Michigan State by all accounts. As we mentioned, the 10 turnovers felt like 15 to 18 turnovers, but really, Mady Sissoko only playing 7 minutes, which I guess, you tip your hat to the staff for, going with a rotation that works, because we've seen in the past couple years that they haven't. They've stuck with, Mady out there when, things weren't going well, trusting that, he'd get it right. And I think he still needs to be engaged in a big part of this team, but I think, I'd prefer to see Cooper or Kohler, preferably probably Cooper at this point, starting in that center position for him. Now, just the way the team's playing and kind of how Cooper meshes with that group that'll be out there to start. And then obviously AJ Hoggard, as we talked about him, able to get a win in a game that AJ did not play great in, but, we're going to need him to be, more consistent throughout the full 40 minutes of this game, because at times Michigan State, as we said, Tyson, Malik, Trey kind of had to dig the team out of a rut when Michigan went on a run, which winning a game on the road, no matter, the team's record, is always going to be hard in the Big Ten. But that's, I didn't watch Izzo's post-game press conference yet, but I'm almost positive he'll say something about AJ, as we said. But as much as maybe he didn't show up in terms of stat sheets or, impact, it's the little things that still being able to turn around a bad half and, get in 4 assists and 3 steals, being engaged on defense there. He's got to be a leader for this team. He's got to make an impact if this team's going to make a run in March. Then Xavier Booker got out there for 3 minutes, recorded 2 rebounds, and thought he was moving well. Overall, seemed like he was making some solid, hustle plays, which I guess that's what, we're really looking for with him at this point. I think he was going to get in there more in the second half, along with Cohen. Cohen only played 8 minutes as well, but I think once the game was kind of super close and Michigan was up a little bit, I think that kind of went out the window. Just because this was a game you had to have, you had to win it, so you had to go with, who you trusted most out there. So that's what Tom rolled with. Overall, shooting 43% from the field and winning a game when you only shot 14% from 3, 2 for 14. When Michigan shot 35% from the 3, 7 for 20 overall. Big thing for Michigan State as well, shooting 17 for 21, 81% from the free throw line. They did lose a rebounding battle, however, 31 to 35. Didn't pass it well either, and I think a lot of that is due to AJ Hoggard. In the first half, being out due to foul trouble, only 9 assists, but forcing 15 steals, again, huge. And then really here, these are the 2 big numbers, outscoring Michigan 19-2 in fast break points and 40-24 in points in the paint. Overall, a solid win. Forcing Michigan to 22 turnovers was definitely the key to this game. You were able to keep Doug in check. A couple times in the first half, he made a couple shots that it was like, oh, this could be a Doug game where he goes off, but holding Doug to 13 points and 3 assists, 3 rebounds. He did have 3 steals as well, but holding him to 3 for 7 shooting from 3, 4 for 13 from the field. Then holding the other guys. They did have their whole starting 5 in double digits, but they only play 8 players, and, all of their main guys playing 34 or more minutes. Besides Reed, their only starter, not over 34 minutes. Overall, I'd say all around solid game. Definitely we saw Izzo and, getting into it kind of at the end of the game. We saw Cooper, I believe it was AJ, in the huddle as well too. I don't know, getting in each other's faces, but you love to see it. That's what this time of year is about. Every game means something. You got to get a win all these games if you're going to make a run in March. So I was honestly sitting on the couch laughing, smiling, because I love to see that. That's what Michigan State's about. Over on Bart Torvik, this moves Michigan State up to 8-14, now 17-9, 9-6 in conference play, top 25 in adjusted efficiency, and top 20 in defensive efficiency for Michigan State. Next game is Tuesday at home against Iowa. Right now, you are currently in the top 4 of the Big Ten standings. You have the same record as Wisconsin, who was just recently ranked, top 15, top 10 in the country, but have since lost, I believe, 5 of 6. And now Michigan State, you have won 8 of 10 and sitting at 17-9, 9-6 in the conference. And right now you have that double bye, which is, what this season's about now. You have 5 games left in the regular season before the Big Ten. tournament. So got to pick up these wins that you're supposed to win in, and then less than 2 weeks now from today at Purdue. If you can pull off that game, you will be able to put everyone on notice about Michigan State. They're already keeping on moving up. I'm seeing them a lot on the 7 seed line now, where they were floating 11 to 8 range mostly, but now we're seeing some 7s in there. So keep winning these games you're supposed to win. Maybe pull off an upset at Purdue, or at least keep it close. A 3-4 point loss. If you do lose that game, obviously you prefer, especially as a fan, you prefer to win that game, and obviously, they do going in there as well. See if you can pull off something. I think it's something that they could with how they're playing, and we've seen, Purdue throughout the course of the season. It's not like they've barnstormed everyone. Yes, they've only lost, I believe, 2 games this season, but, they're gettable if you get them on the right night and have a good game plan, and I trust Tom Izzo to come up with that. Anyway, a win's a win. We'll take it. Wasn't always pretty throughout the whole game, but we'll take a sweep of Michigan for the first time since 2019, which was the year we went to the Final Four. Just saying. It's out there. But as always, go green. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out.